This goes right before the show proper because we do make a mistake in this that I want to address before everyone sees it and bitches about it. This is a Tom Byron production, not a Wood Rocket production. Me and Criff assumed because we watched the behind the scenes on woodrocket.com that it was a Wood Rocket production. It's our mistake, we apologize, everything else is still going to stay the same. Just wanted to bring that up before the show. Hey, we praised it in the review proper, and it even won an AVN award for Leroy Myers. So, without further ado, and now your feature presentation. Hello and welcome to Redlight Renegades, another movie review. If you can't tell by the title, actually you might not be able to tell by the title. I'll give you that one. But today, it's me, Bard, joined as always with
Griff.
And today, we have a special guest star,
Cherry Bomb.
Not to be confused with any other cherry bomb on the internet right now. Just stating. Before we get into the 150-minute mark, this is a warning if you're under the age of 18, or if you cannot legally view porn, or if you just don't like porn, well then now's your warning to run away. Okay.
That was that was the truncated version of our intro. Thank you very much.
Well, that's because, actually, I don't know if we got really a lot to talk about today. But today, we will be talking about A Wet Dream on Elm Street from Wood Rocket Productions.
Directed by, we have it written down, give us a second.
Leroy
Myers. There we go.
Who's also an extra in this, but we'll get to that. So right off the bat, the general premise is that of, Freddy.
It's the Nightmare on Elm Street with fucking.
Basically,
More fucking. There was fucking in A Nightmare on Elm Street.
Truth. So,
yeah, still
literally...
with the high school scheme.
I love how they do that. But basic general is, there's Freddy, the used dildo salesman.
No, they're not used. They're just low-grade, made-in-China dildos.
He just overprices them.
But we'll get to that when we get to the Freddy origin scene.
Yeah.
But instead of killing them while they're dreaming, they slip into pleasure comas.
He literally...
Big smiles on them faces.
He literally fucks them into a coma.
Well, let's do scene breakdown then overall.
Yeah.
So, scene 1, right after the credits, you get a stand. Actually, a lot of the sex scenes in this are basically standard.
Yeah, 90% of this movie is very standard porn fucking.
Which is kind of sad, because when you've got something fun like...
Right. Or when you have a cast that's made up of 19 women and 3 men.
You could have done something with it. Hey, Wood Rocket, if you want us to write your stuff, we'll do it for very, very, very cheap.
But anyways,
so right off the bat, you get, right after the credits, the very first sex scene isn't bad. I mean, it's very basic, fingers licking.
It's a very basic love-making scene. It's not so much a fucking scene. You can tell that these two people are a couple. These two are portraying a couple. They're having sex like a couple would. They're not just, hardcore fucking, hit by the dick truck fucking.
You're gonna work that into every single thing, aren't you?
Thank you, Ask a Porn Star, for the phrase hit by the dick truck.
But anyway.
But speaking of dick truck, the way she hit his dick against her tongue.
Cherry Bomb has not really any experience watching porn, so that's why it's actually an interesting thing to see how she takes on...
How she takes to the things that we're watching.
Oh, right.
Did the mosquito come after you, too?
Yeah, it did.
It was on my arm.
It's so humid in here, guys. So anyways... After the love making, which is basic, and we get a nice booty cum shot. It's not a bad booty cum shot. Not a best I've seen ever, but good. Really, most of the sex in this, and this is really, it's good.
It's average fucking.
But anyways, so, then girl rolls over, and then she's like, wow, that was the best sex ever. Then, who's she actually spooning with? Freddy. And I gotta look back up to see who did this, but
whoever did Freddy was amazing.
Yeah, Freddy was
perfect.
the best. His acting in it was amazing.
Yeah, his Freddy voice was good.
I mean, Wet Dream on Elm Street 2?
I think that's part 2.
Oh, okay. Sorry, looking up the cast.
So, Freddy
is Anthony Rosano. And dude, I know you're probably not listening to this, but if you are, you owned this. And I think that's kind of why... Well, actually, I will say one thing. I'm wrong. He did not own this. Tommy Pistol, as the professor, kind of owned this.
Yeah, he really did.
Anthony Rosano, he made every scene fun, even the sex scenes were what they were.
Yeah.
But it's always in porn. It's always how you act outside of that. And
But here's the thing. This entire movie takes the piss out of itself. It makes fun of itself. It knows it's a really bad porn parody, and it plays to that strength, though.
that's very true. But anyways, they also make an Edward James Olmos joke.
Yeah, they do. Including Battlestar.
That was what made me go, I dig this. And it's like the first, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Each sex scene is about 15 to 20 minutes in this.
Ish.
Anyways, then we jump to scene 2. Their air quote high school reunion.
Which was happening 2 years after they graduated high school.
Which is Cammy, Denise, and Betty. And
Denise.
Denise is the middle chick that I could not remember the name of.
We never got her name, I don't believe.
So literally, then you've got Tommy Pistol as the professor going, hey, you guys, you know what this plot is.
It happened 2 years ago. You were there when it happened. Your parents, his exact quote is, your parents threw the We Killed Freddy block party.
It's hilarious, and I love the women acting in this too. They are really decent. Yeah. They're really good, but Anthony Rosano and Tommy Pistol just...
They chewed all the scenery.
Especially Tommy, because he only has one sex scene in this.
Got him.
Every other scene, you can tell he's kind of having a ball with, especially with just
especially when the two of them got together.
Yes.
When the two of them were in the same scene.
Oh my god.
That was the best thing on the planet.
Anyways, so we get Freddy's origin. He was a dildo salesman who was so good, he sold him out of the trunk of his car. But he overcharged. And when you overcharge for things that go in vaginas and anuses, people gonna get mad. How mad? Well, they lit the bastard on fire.
They burned him from the waist up.
My personal favorite is, and then your sex ed professor through the last match.
And we find out
that's
that
when we find out that Tommy Pistol is the sex ed perfecter, and he's like, I know.
Perfecter?
Yes, I know. He sold me a fleshlight, but it was actually a fleshlight.
No, you said that backwards.
What'd I say?
You said flashlight, that was a fleshlight. It was, he sold him a fleshlight that was a flashlight.
Either way,
and it burned his wiener.
No, wiener.
It's wiener.
Because wiener is the funnier word.
Yeah.
It's like the underpants versus underwear argument.
But honestly, he is just I just love him in this. He steals every scene, and he knows it.
Oh, yeah.
But then we get to scene 3, which is Cammy heading back to her place to try and stay awake. No, not Cammy. It was Betty, wasn't it?
It's Betty. It's Betty. You are correct.
Betty does head back, but before that,
No, first it's Betty, because she
has the dream of Freddy in jail.
Dead man fucking on her iPad.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's when we see Giselle Leon as prison guard screwing Freddy. Another standard scene. Still not bad, just standard.
It's standard prison fucking.
Not even standard prison fucking, just standard fucking just so happens to be inside a prison. And it's not bad, especially when he makes the joke about, as soon as she realizes, oh my god, Freddy's in this? Yeah, and I'm in 3D!
And he reaches out to her with his dildo glove.
I will say I love the dildo glove.
You really need to mute that when we record.
Yeah,
that's gonna be what gets us flagged.
Listen, Nintendo don't fuck around.
Anyways, and then it pretty much cuts then back to high school reunion. I'm not entirely sure why there's a part 2, but...
Well, they go back to talk to the professor because he explained all this.
And then we learned about the professor who had a dream with Freddy in it. Wasn't gay or nothing.
It was just a dream that Freddy happened to be in it.
And I love, it's not like it's being
No, it's showing, the fact that he's trying to cover up the
homosexuality. He's covering up a blowjob.
Right, he's covering up the homosexuality of the dream like any
insecure man would.
Thank you. That's what I couldn't think of insecure.
But you can tell that he's acting it because of no homo, bro. But it's just like, no, we wasn't doing nothing. It's funnier in context. You have to watch this.
And then later, Freddy does the same thing, and it made it perfect.
Yeah. Then Cammy, who I fucking love because she's had the least lines, and that's how the movie says it. She's the most expendable.
And they call her expendable. They mention she has no lines, and every time she tries to talk from this point forward,
everyone shushes her, and it's fantastic. But she tries the glove.
It's a masturbation scene that just so happens to include a dildo glove. Only one dildo gets used, but there's 4 on the glove.
And she even takes off the glove at one point and just starts using it regular, which looks hilarious because he's still got 3 other
flopping around and the wrist part of the glove just kind of waving in the wind.
Yeah. But then, of course, suddenly, poof, Freddy's in the glove, as he often does in his films.
Yeah, he's all of a sudden wearing the glove, and Then he fucks her into a coma.
Well, no. Remember what happens. That is when Freddy and the professor come face to face again, and then Freddy's like, we just so happen to be in the same dream.
At the same time, I mean, it's not like I specifically came for you or anything.
It's seriously just great. And honestly, best chemistry has to be between
yes.
Tony Rizzano and
Tommy Pistol.
Thank you.
You know, Tommy
I was about to say
Gunn's
Tommy Gunn, but... And that's when we actually see one of the women with the smile because Cammy slips into the coma. And it's actually, it got Cherry Bomb laughing.
It really did.
Just because it was like a Joker smile of, yeah, this is awesome.
Just nice teeth.
That's what you notice?
Shut up.
She has a great ass, decent tits, but that smile. No, let me rephrase. Those teeth.
That's a good set of choppers right there.
And then the professor's like, well, I'm going to do a few things. Again, you have to watch this. It is worth the watch.
Oh, it definitely is.
You know, the professor's like, I'm going to take this body and go do things.
No, he said he was going to take her to the
Take
hospital.
pictures.
No, first he was going to play human Jenga with her. He was going to take pictures.
And
Then
then he was going to
take
take her to the
the
hospital.
Eventually he was going to take her to the hospital.
But he said the hospital thing louder so that the girls could actually hear him.
Yeah.
But we find out he doesn't do any of that. He leaves the classroom and falls asleep.
Because Denise, played by Charlie Chase, who actually is very well looking, I think,
she's very attractive.
out of all the three women that we do see, or four technically, because Giselle. 5.
Jennifer White, the chick in the first
Oh,
scene.
right, yes, you're right. I'm sorry. You know, I think she's the best looking out of them all, just on my personal taste level. And
We'll get into that one at the end. Because
Other-
we always award our most attractive at the end. So.
that's true. Anyways, Denise is like, no, I'm going to stay in the classroom. If I've learned anything watching horror movies, the evil guy never goes after the pretty girl in a dank, dark room. And guess what? Eventually she gets come for, but first, she gets to have sex with her professor. And I just love it. Hey, wanna fuck?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Hell
yes!
It was phenomenal.
It's the most real voice acting in a porn.
And then we have Freddy turning around and, hey, now I'm here. Ha ha ha. Want to see my dick? And she's really happy on seeing his dick.
Well, no, she screams because Freddy's a monster, and he makes the comment of the monster between his legs,
Yeah.
Fair point.
whipping it out, and then she's very happy.
And then, scene 5.
Spitz Mackenzie! I mean Sophie D.
If you, actually, recently we have started a Patreon. And we do have our live reaction, live commentary watching scene 5. With Cherry Bomb also on it. And, yeah, back to the actual review part. Yes, we need to self-plug a little bit.
I mean,
Maybe we shouldn't. Maybe the best thing to do while talking about porn is not plug anything.
especially self-plugging.
Better than self-pegging.
Well, I mean, what else are you plugging?
A dick hole?
Ew.
Sounding
That
no.
sounds
Dude,
very
I've already
painful.
seen a lot.
I'm not even a guy.
I've seen some stuff, man.
I've seen some stuff, too.
But anyways, scene 5, Betty's like, okay, I'm gonna go into my dreams, I'm gonna stop him. And, well, they have a fairly standard porn sex scene.
Except the hat.
Except, I do love
Yeah,
the
she's
fact she grabs his hat and puts it on just while riding Cowgirl. So it works out very well.
Oh, yeah.
And then, by the end, she's like, hey, Freddy, you missing something? And she's got the batteries for a dildo. And
Which I do have a major problem with.
there's 2 batteries and 4 dildos?
Besides that, those are D batteries. Those
And there is
dildos
no-
on his gloves took AA at biggest.
No, I think they might have taken D.
No.
No way!
Okay, I don't know dildos. I'm sorry. I'm surprised the woman didn't say anything, but you, my friend.
She agreed with me. And one of my ex-partners has 2 of them that size.
And then she wakes up, oh, it's a dream. But then she reaches her hand down and feels ungodly amount of lube. My only problem with that is that we should have at least seen the lubing.
Right.
Yeah, instead of just
It's
her
Chekhov's
spitting on
lube at this
everything.
point.
Well, the thing of it is, it's not supposed to be lube.
What's it supposed to be?
Her cum from her wet dream.
Oh,
Hence the title.
that was nowhere near.
That was the wet dream she had on Elm Street.
But I understand where they were going with it. But either
And
way,
there should have been some form of wetness on the lingerie.
like hell,
Yeah.
I would have even turned around and said, have it instead of her finding the wet dream. Have her go, oh, it's all a dream, rub her hands on her boobs, and all of a sudden, semen? Something like, the cum
Or,
shot. Or,
find one of the dildos or something.
yeah, or even the batteries as...
Or the
Yeah,
hat.
the bed.
Actually, the hat on her
hat
head
would've
probably
been
would have
nice.
been the
The
best
hat would have
touch,
been best, yeah.
because she looked really good in that hat. So, ultimately, but that's where it ends, with the cliffhanger of...
Oh no, whatever will happen is Freddy
Although I'm
defeated?
actually wondering if you guys do, if Wood Rocket does do a second one, will they make it the gay one like the original Nightmare on Elm Street?
They should. They really should. And I want Tommy Pistol
Yes.
and Anthony Rosano to reprise their roles and have that be the gay.
You know what? I
want-
would actually love. And by the way, here you go, Wood Rocket. You get one free. For Nightmare on Elm Street 2, have it be all about the professor and Freddy having this we're totally not gay, but you keep it straight, that way they can still do what they do.
Yeah. Or what they do is they kind of cross it over into Friday the 13th and have it not be Freddy, but have it be the glove. And have the professor's glove, the one that he made the replica of.
That's what pretty much happened in part 2 of Nightmare on Elm Street was...
I haven't seen Nightmare
Oh,
on
you
Elm
should.
Street 2 in so long.
It is actually, I think, my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Don't read into it. It's not gay. I can't happen to like a movie that is considered extremely gay overtones.
Well, you really want to make me watch all of the Brotherhood movies.
That's because it's torture. And the tighty-whitey sex.
Save me.
Dude, you want me to watch Napoleon Dynamite?
Yes. Because it can't be worse than the actual movie. It's
Anyways,
the same reason we're watching Horat.
Anyways, back on topic here. So literally what you do is have the professor have the glove, and he's slowly being possessed by Tony Rosano.
And it's,
And you can work on that dynamic that they have, where it's,
right, where
I
they're
swear this
battling...
isn't gay, kid, but let
Right.
me into you so I can fuck this woman.
Right,
or
where they're
something like
battling
that.
for control,
Yeah.
they're battling for dominancy.
So that way you can have it, instead of being all the characters that he took out, have it be female versions of it.
Yeah.
Instead of the really awkward BDSM coach, have it be an awkward BDSM female coach. Or stuff like that. That way you can...
Right.
But that one's free. Give us some money in. We'll make it worth your while. God, we're bored. Anyway.
We'll make every single Nightmare on Elm Street for you.
I will do up to and including a new porn mare. New night porn? A new wet dream?
A new wet dream. It'd be a new wet dream, yeah.
And Freddy versus Jason, Triple X. Probably already exists.
Oh, yeah. So wait. Does that mean 3 would be A Wet Dream on Elm Street 3, The Cum Warriors?
What's 3 the Dream Warriors?
I'm pretty sure 3 was Dream Warriors.
We'll work on the sequels. just drop us a thing. Our email's right up there. Ultimately, we did have a special guest star, and I know she's been quiet. So what did you think of it overall? You don't have a large experience.
Was it a good watch? Was it a bad watch? Do you regret us making you sit here and watch this?
It wasn't terrible.
Okay,
but,
well...
I mean, there were some things that I was just don't do that. Like the tongue slapping.
Oh, the tongue penis slap. She's not into that.
Penis slap. Not into that. Not into the spitting all over people thing. But
But overall,
I have to agree. I like the dynamic between Anthony and Tommy. Tommy definitely made it.
I know it's okay. Your first time's always hard. That kind of took her a little longer than it should have, didn't it?
Just like a few seconds. But anyways, so overall, great movie. Bad porn. Great movie.
Well, I will say it's not that
I have
it's
to say,
bad porn.
actually, my favorite scene was actually the masturbating. I prefer her.
You think that she was the MVP for this?
Yes.
On the sex level. We
Yes.
already talked to death about Tony and Tommy.
There were some awkward moments, definitely, but
But overall, you felt
Overall,
that
yes.
was the most fappable scene.
It was the most erotic to you out of all
5. So that was...
most interesting, yeah.
Okay.
So yours was the...
I would honestly say Denise had the look that I liked. So I'm going to go with her for my MVP. I think I'll choose her for the big game. However, my favorite sex scene, though, honestly, might be the first one. I know it's bog standard. I know there is... the porn in this overall is not bad. It is standard.
Yeah.
But I kind of didn't come into this, and I think Wood Rocket understands people aren't actually coming in for the porn. But
If you could only see the look I just gave him.
But we will never go on camera. I enjoy being shirtless way too much.
Yes, and
How's your humidities going?
I can't
Not
get
a
over
small
that. That's why
man.
they're laughing out this time.
I'm not a thin man.
But overall, I would say that Jennifer White and Chris Johnson in the very first scene was the most erotic sex scene for me. I probably would have given it to the masturbation scene had we seen something, interesting.
Yeah, if it was
I
more...
really am suddenly becoming the play-by-play guy. Now, I would have liked it if she was a little bit more inventive, but I'm going to go with the first. An oldie but goodie. It's truth to the consequences. What you think?
See, I gotta give it to the second one. I gotta give it to the prison scene.
Really?
I gotta give it to the prison scene. I mean, with the dark lighting and things like that, like from an actual filmmaking perspective, that was a greatly lit scene. It gave off the vibe it was supposed to. Weird as this is gonna sound, the metal dildos on the metal cage sounded great.
Yeah, they did.
I will actually say that
It had a great resonance to it.
it did.
The fucking was a little bit above standard. They had a few inventive
You're
positions.
But they were also in a cage, so...
Well, that's inventive to begin with.
Although
Compared to the rest of the movie, of course.
Yeah, well, I think it's because I'm a fan of A Nightmare on Elm Street that I couldn't look at that, because that's the scene that is pretty much, what's-his-face's air quotes suicide from it, so I couldn't...
See, I went into this I was able to blank my mind of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Right.
And honestly, out of all of them, Sophie D has my preferred body type.
Right.
Mostly. But honestly, Giselle Leon was the most erotic about it.
Okay, fair point. So, for the first time we're at the second movie, so...
Yeah.
Because I think we agreed in My Little Pony.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I would love to see Pixel Vixens and Wood Rocket do a collab
I want to
together.
see them team up,
Like, that's where Wood Rocket should definitely be like, hey, guys, you want to do My Little Pony too?
Do you know what sex scene I want? I need
to see Discord and Tommy Pistol.
No. We need to see Discordia.
Or Discordia.
DP'd by Tommy Pistol and Anthony Rosano. With like a half an hour of dialogue leading up to it.
Yes.
Because that would be the greatest scene on the planet.
And if you guys do that, I do have a script being written for My Little Pony 2, just because no one ever cares about what I do and I have no life. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo, boo-hoo. Okay, so self-pity's out of the way.
Self-promotion's out of the way. All scenes are covered. We've awarded our best. I think we're done.
I think we are done. We're still working on
It's the most anticlimactic finish on the planet. Especially seeing as what we talk about.
Like we talk about, like what we say, this is ultimately a discussion. Let us know in the comments below about what you guys thought about Wet Dreams on Elm Street, what you liked, what you disliked.
Or if just watching this video made you go out and seek it out. Let us know if you're liking what we're doing.
Let us know. Let Wood Rocket know. Because ultimately, I'd like them to know that
we're here. We like their stuff.
We're here. We're mostly straight. Get used to it.
Ain't nobody knew where he was taking that one.
What rhymes with straight?
Gate.
We're here.
Fate.
We're mostly straight.
Mostly?
We're at the gate.
What?
We know how to rate.
We're
Actually,
mostly? You developed a lisp.
That's because I also have a piece of grape in my mouth.
Well, whose fault is that for
Sheep.
eating while we're recording?
Because Cherry Bomb graped me in the mouth.
Because you asked for it.
You think I asked to be great? Okay.
You alright.
So, please, if you enjoy this, again, we do have some new stuff on Patreon that is exclusive. It's only going to be these live reaction commentary things, mainly because if you guys like us, the Patreon is there so you can...
So you can let us know. That's another way you can just let us know. And your pledging to us, even just at the $5 a month mark, helps us to create more. It helps us to get more movies to watch. It helps us to
get more games, upgrade our system, because once we get the system upgraded, then we'll be able to actually do live streaming more, or not so much live stream, but like, well, I know you.
Not with the games we play.
That's a fair point, but like instead
Not
of
without
just
the warning first.
instead of just us, looking at screen caps on the games we do.
We can record a little bit, obviously cutting out what we have to cut out for YouTube.
Oh yeah.
And, from now on, I think we're going to censor with Awesemo face.
Awesemo is going to be best Awesemo, obviously. How many Awesemos do you know?
One.
But Just one.
That's the only awesome-o I need.
But anyways, so I'm Bard.
I'm Griff.
And I'm Cherry Bomb.
And it's been a lovely pleasure having you here. We will catch y'all on the flip side.
Later.